All right, hello once again and welcome back. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over the MIT App Inventor 2 as part of the Rankin Technical College Summer Adventure Academy series. And we're starting to build a xylophone application. And what I've done is I've basically said, here's my colors I'm going to use, and these are the notes. All right, going from the biggest bar that we have to the smallest bar. And how did I get those? C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. I got them from right here. All right, so what I decided to do next was to come in here and let's rename these. So this first one, just taking them in order then, this will be button. We're going to call this high C note. All right. So there's that one. I'm not going to rename these labels because they're just filler, and I didn't really feel the need to rename those. All right. So my next one, my next button will be, that's the only D, so we're going to call this one button D note. The next one will be button E note. The next one will be button F note. Sorry. The next one will be button G note. Button A note. Button B note. And we'll call this last one, since the other one was button high C note, this will be button low C note. Alright, so as far as I know, because I've already named my other two, button play and button reset. Also, I made the size of each one of these 7, which made the size of my buttons a little nicer. And I think that if I bring this up in here, okay, well, it hasn't reset itself yet, but I think once it does, it's going to look a little bit better. Alright, now when you look on these buttons here, I can set the background color like this. But to my knowledge, there's no way to set this the way that I want to set it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to go into my blocks mode. All right. And what I want to do is I want to say screen 1 when I initialize. What do I want to do? All right. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to come up to my first one, and I want to be setting the background color for all these. All right, so I'm going to duplicate this a bunch of times, and we've got C, then we've got D, then E, then F. So high C, D, E, F. Then we want G, A, B, C. And this last one, if you remember, I think we call that, since the other one was high C, this is button low C note. All right, so those are all done, except we have to actually come in and set the colors. All right, so now if I come over here and I go to color, I'm going to go to make a color here. All right, and I'm going to set every one of these colors according to what I had in my own chart. All right, so, this is not good because I set them up to their hex values. All right, so in other words, hex code pound 38ACEC. What I want for that, whoops, I don't know how I did that. There we go. All right, so that's should be this. So I want the RGB. So I want 56, 172, 236. All right. And I think that's the color it's going to be making it into. Okay, this is going to be very big once I do all 8 of these. That's not a problem. So I'm going to quickly, and I'm going to do it in front of you here. I'm going to do all 8 of these. And then when I get done, I'm going to go and run this to make sure that indeed it's looking more or less the way that I want it to look. All right. So, actually I should be able to put that in there like this. .0064. I guess it doesn't change the color. All right. So our next one will be 255, 8255. Again, sometimes the work that you're doing when you're creating something like this, in a way you could liken it to a work of art. And don't get me wrong, I'm not at all trying to toot my own horn or anything here, but what I'm saying is that at least at times when you work on this, and this is just red right there, so that makes that one easy, is you do a lot of this work that's a little painstaking and it's a little laborious. All right, but it's part of the job. So, orange is FFA500. 255, 165, 0. It isn't too bad. 3 more to go. FFFF32. So that's 255, and that's 255, and I don't know what the last one will be. .52 D017 82 208 23. And the last one will be 95 B9 C7 149 149, 185, 199. So 149. $185, $199. All right. So let's go back. Let's go back to here, and let's go in and do a connect, reset our connection, connect again, and let's check it in the emulator. Remember, what we're looking for is something along the lines of this. So I'm going to leave that up here so we can take a look. And I eyeballed it. Again, if I was actually making this as a, quote, professional app, unquote, I would, of course, be going in and I'd be wanting, if this is the one that I was going to base it off of, I would want to go in and make sure that it looked as close as possible to those colors. All right, I don't think it's going to look bad the way it is. I just think it probably could be a little bit more realistic than what it is. So how did I do? Well, that's definitely wrong. This one, that doesn't look bad. That doesn't look bad. 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 I don't like that color. So it's the two on the ends that I don't like. All right, and this play button and this reset are still too big. Okay, again, neither one of them is operational. We'll worry about that later. So I want to go back and I want to fix my first color and I want to fix my last color. All right, I'm going to do that on my own, and I'm also going to narrow down the size of these two buttons. So I'm going to do that. And in fact, I can come in here, go back to designer, and for here, when I go to the horizontal arrangement, I'm just going to take that height and I'm going to make it automatic. All right, and I believe that just by doing that, once that resets, see, that looks a little better. All right, again, you may or may not agree, but I've got a little bit of dead space in there, if you'd want to call it that. All right, how do I fix that? Well, there's a few ways. First thing that I can do, if I'd like to, is I can come in and I can put another label in here. All right, no text. For the height, let's make it a little bigger, so we'll be making those other ones 1 pixel. We'll make that 3 pixels, and we'll do a full fill parent on here. All right, and let's see if that makes it look a little nicer. All right, see how I pushed it down? Okay, the other thing that I could do, and I've got to watch it because I don't want this thing to get too overwhelming, but I could stick a background color in here. All right, and would that make it look better? That's a good question. All right, let's try one more thing, and that is, let's come back in here. And we're just about done with this particular lecture, but let's come back in here. Let's go back into our designer. Let's put another label, and let's place it at the top. We will again make the width be fill parent. This one we're going to actually give a name to, so we'll rename this label title. All right, and we'll put in here for text App Inventor 2 Xylophone app. All right, we'll stretch that all the way across. So let's center it. Let's make the size pretty big. How about 24? And we'll bold it. All right. Now, this looks like it's gone, but, and let's we don't have to make a background in there. Let's go take a look in here. Whoops, sorry. Let's take a look. Okay, so App Inventor 2 still have a lot of area in here. Okay, that looks better, but this is actually a little bit too big. Remember, one thing I could do if I wanted to, what I'm about to do, I might make this look really bad just for a second, so please bear with me. When I go back to the designer, is if I do want to, I can come in and, where is that? There's a way for me to go in here and set my orientation. Don't remember what it is right now. All right, I'll come back and do that in the next lecture. Let's go back and reset this from 24 to 22, and then we'll, all right, go back and look at it again in the emulator. Still is a little bit too big. But I am liking the way that it's looking, so I'm just going to come back and change this to 20. And check that again in the emulator. All right. So I might want to make that a little bit higher, you know, whatever. All right. I just don't like the dead space that's in there. I could make these each a little bit bigger also. We'll come back and take a look at that in the next video.